Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are LA.
Gorgeous afternoon for baseball. It's Sunday Fun Day here at the Big A.
Woohoo!
Oh, I knew you'd be excited. The
yes.
Angels dropped the opening game of the series on Friday. They won last night, trying to pick up a series win here this afternoon. As we welcome you inside the Big A and back to Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West, along with Mark Gubas, I'm Victor Rojas. And, of course, yesterday, the long ball was prevalent early on. Cole Calhoun, a two-run home run, and who would have thought that that would have been the game winner? Essentially, that's what they needed in order to pick up the victory.
Yeah, Victor, that was a real good swing by Cole. Looking to get that swing back. Take a look at our AT&T U-verse. Rewind. Cole Calhoun got a pitch up, out over the plate. That's what he's looking to get, a pitch to be able to drive, do some damage in that number 2 spot in the lineup. See a ball, drive a ball well, 2-run home run. Big part of the field also for Cole's 7th home run of the season. Hasn't had a lot of success against King Felix, but a swing like that can give you that confidence back that when King Felix makes a mistake, you can drive that ball.
I know King Felix has been very, very good this year. Hasn't been as overly dominant as he has been in the years past, but we'll see what he has in store against this Angels ball club. Hector Santiago is on the mound for the Angels and looking to kind of turn things and kind of keep things going for the Halos.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a very good pitching matchup when you think about it, Victor. Both these guys have good numbers. King Felix, 10-4 for the season. ERA over 3. Hasn't pitched as well lately, but his last 10 starts against the Angels, 6-1 with an ERA barely over 1. Hector's been very good at home. ERA 2.38. Batting average against him under 200. Pitch inside with that fastball. Keep the ball down. Utilize that changeup today against these right-handed batters.
3.24 ERA, and people are wondering what is wrong with him. Can you?
I'll take that one.
No doubt about it. We're just about ready for baseball here at the Big A. Sit back, relax. Lineups at first pitch when we return. Mentioned it's a game apiece right now going into this finale. The Angels did have a team meeting today. Now, granted, there was also fan photo day, so players had to get dressed and kind of be out on the field. Nothing really came out of that meeting. It wasn't as if Mike Scioscia closed the doors and wanted to have a talk with his team, but it was just not even an airing of differences. It was just a conversation with the front office.
Yeah, it was mainly about just getting all the information possible to be successful at the plate, on the mound, in the field, all the different scouting reports they get, the information they're able to print out for the players to be successful on the field and give them an opportunity, especially against a very difficult pitcher today, Felix Hernandez.
Well, let's take a look at Lloyd McClendon's starting lineup for the Seattle Mariners with the loss yesterday. They are in fourth place in the West, 8 games back at 34-41. Austin Jackson leading things off in center field. Franklin Gutierrez in left field. That's his second game since being called back up. Robinson Cano was taken out of the game yesterday as he got hit by an errant throw by Taylor Featherston, but he's all right. No concussion, just a nice little headache, nothing more than that. He is starting at second base. Nelson Cruz at DH, Kyle Seager at third, Mark Trumbo at right, Brad Miller is shortstop, Mike Zunino jumps up to the H spot. He's the catcher, and Willie Bloomquist gets a start at first base, and he will bat ninth. Taking on Hector Santiago, 16th game, 15th start of the season, a 4-4 mark and a 2.68 ERA.
And we just showed you earlier in the opening how well he has thrown the baseball at home, though. But in a day game here in the Big A, Hector's got to think in terms of keeping the ball down. He is a guy that gets a lot of fly ball outs. 42% of his outs are fly ball outs when you compare the ground ball strikeout ratio, 58%. So he's got to try to keep the ball down when the ball flies as well as it does here in the day.
Let's check out the Angels defensively before the first pitch is thrown today. Matt Joyce in left, Mike Trout in center, Cole Calhoun in right. The infield has David Freese, Taylor Featherston, Johnny Giavitello, and Efren Navarro with Albert Pujols serving as DH today. Chris Sinetta behind the plate.
And Matt Joyce out in left field. Talked about Hector getting some fly balls. Matt Joyce, 44th start in left field, has 1 assist, 1 error. Career high 70 games in that position last year in which he had 5 assists. And at left field, baseball will carry very well here. Important to get that first good step going back.
Hector Santiago, first pitch is down and in for ball 1, so we are underway. Austin Jackson, a 256 average, 3 home runs, 13 runs batted in. Angel picking up the 4-2 win yesterday. Manages 6 hits throughout the ballgame. Jay Happ did a terrific job of just settling things down after the home run to Cole Calhoun. On the flip side, Garrett Richards was spectacular in his 7 2/3. Should have been 8. The error by Taylor Featherston prevented that. That's when Mike Scioscia went to the bullpen for Joe Smith. Garrett picking up the win, his 8th of the season. Jackson rips one out toward left center field. Trout moving to his right will track it down for the first down.
Yeah, I talked to Garrett today. He said he felt real good. He's getting there. Much better, more consistent with all his pitches yesterday. Both his slider and curveball good, and velocity on his fastball was excellent.
Brings up Gutierrez, the left fielder. Just 1 for 3. Franklin's been dealing with abdominal issues over the last several seasons. A supremely talented center fielder when he first got to the big leagues with Cleveland. Cover a lot of ground, hit for average, hit for some power. Had some problems as far as health, staying healthy, but then all of a sudden had to deal with these issues intestinal wise, and it's nice to see him back in the big leagues. He kind of forgot that he was still in organized baseball. That one's outside for ball 2.
I thought he had a chance to be an excellent major league outfielder, center fielder. He got to some baseball, some highlight plays consistently for the M's. And good power, could run.
That pitch is inside. 3 balls and a strike. Is prior to his June 24th appearance with Seattle, his last Major League Baseball game, September 27th of 2013 against Oakland. Look at numbers at AAA. He lines this one to left field. Joyce is there. 2 outs. Robinson Cano coming to the plate. Let's go back and revisit what happened yesterday afternoon. This was the Angels just a normal infield play, and Taylor Featherston's throw sailing over the head of Pujols, over the railing, and hit Cano right on the top of the forehead.
Well, the reaction by Albert too, as he saw that throw over his head, dealing with the grounds crew were walking by also.
With Featherston at shortstop today while they were warming up, you got to take all the precautions you can.
Yes. And Taylor sent a little message over to Cano after the game, apologized for that throw.
Robinson hitting .244, 4 home runs and 24 runs batted in. 0 for 3 yesterday. He hits this one to second. Well, he's done that quite a bit in the series. 1, 2, 3 inning for Hector Santiago. Ahead to the bottom of the first. Giavotella, Calhoun, and Trout coming up for the Angels. Look at Mike Scioscia's lineup for the Angels this afternoon. Game number 76. The Angels a game over 500 at 38 and 37. If Johnny Giavotella leading things off at second, Cole Calhoun at right, Mike Trout at center. Mentioned Pujols at DH today. David Freese at third, Matt Joyce at left, Chris Arnetta behind the plate. Efrain Navarro gets to start at first, and Featherston over at shortstop, as Eric Ibar still dealing with that little tightness in his hamstring as they take on the 29-year-old right-hander native of Valencia, Venezuela, Felix Hernandez.
Felix Hernandez fastball is 90-94, slider curve, and a plus changeup 10-game winner this year. 28 walks for him, though. The keys, the go-tos against King Felix, early game success, and Mike Trout. Mike Trout has very good career numbers, 364 batting average against Felix Hernandez. Need Trouty to have a big game today.
Felix this year, we mentioned in the open that not as dominant as he has been in previous seasons. Still very, very good and always very good against the Angels. As the first one today is in there for his strike. He's been better at home this year as far as ERA is concerned. Not on the road. He's 4-1 on the road, but a 3.86 earned run average away from Safeco. Breaking ball. Makes it 0-2 on Johnny. He's hitting .266. That's 3 home runs and 27 RBIs. Had an RBI single yesterday. Helped out the Angels in that 2-run 7th inning. And Giavotella goes down swinging for the first down. Mariners behind. Felix Hernandez have Gutierrez at left, Jackson at center, Trumbo in right. The infield with Seager, Miller, Cano, and Bloomquist from third to first, and Zanino behind the dish.
Seager over at third base, won the Gold Glove last year. The second Seattle Mariner third baseman to win that award. Jim Beltre won it in 07 and 08. Has turned 14 double plays, 7 errors this year for Seager, but very good as far as coming in the baseball and great range at third base. That's a changeup, by the way, to Giavotella. One thing about Felix we've seen over the last, and we mentioned that last 10 starts against the Angels, because they had a lot of success against them in the past. He's doing a lot more all-speed pitches in the early part of the game instead of just going into that fastball mold.
One ball, one strike on Cole Calhoun. Hitting .258 now. Once before yesterday with the home run of the first inning. 34 runs batted in. Third time the Angels have faced Felix Hernandez this year. He's 2-0 with a 1.29 against the Halos. This one lifted out the left. Not very deep. 2 outs.
Now it's time for Tools of the Trade, brought to you by Ram Trucks with Mike Trout coming to the plate. Back-to-back seasons open up against King Felix. First at bat of the season for Mike Trout. Took him deep here at the Big A, and then took him deep opening day up in Seattle this year. Early in the count, success for Trout against King Felix. So that 364 batting average. 3 home runs against King Felix, both times leading off the game in that first inning against King Felix. Here we are in the first.
And that's why he was your Gooby's go-to.
Oh, no question.
Mike Trout.
Yeah. You don't have to expand on any more than that. Mike Trout. Especially when you look at some of the batting average for the Angels against Felix Hernandez.
Trout yesterday with a double and a walk, 1 for 3. 3-hit game Friday night. 2 singles and a home run. Behind in the count at 0-2. And down goes Trout. 2 strikeouts in the inning. The Angels go down in order. We will head to the second with no score. Start the second with no score. Hector Santiago threw 11 pitches in the first. Felix with 9. Both with 1, 2, 3 innings. Seattle will set up Cruz, Seager, and Trumbull here in the second. Cruz the DH. 1 for 4. Doubled yesterday. A leadoff double in the second, but then Garrett Richards struck out the side. This one lifted to right. Playable for Calhoun. It's the grab for the first out.
3 fly ball outs in the game so far of the 4 outs for Hector. Pretty much what he has done this entire season.
Kyle Seager, the third baseman, coming up now. A 1 count on the Mariner third baseman. First outing this year for Santiago against Seattle.
Surprising.
Yeah.
Career ERA just under, a little over 4.5 for Hector against Seattle. I struggled as a starter, though. 0-2, and then you're over 7.
Angels are 5-3 against the M's this year. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Real difficult for Seager to stay inside on that baseball when you have Heckler throwing the ball, thrown across his body, hiding the baseball well. See Seager on that swing pulled off on that pitch.
There's the 1-2. That's ground ball to second. Giavitello corrals it over to Navarro. There are 2 away.
Now it's time for In the Driver's Seat, brought to you by Kia. Mark Trumbo coming to the plate. 3 straight years he led the Angels in home runs, 2011 through 13. Club record is 5 straight by Vlad. Did that from 04 to 08. Trumbo had some very good years. The local product from Villa Park High School for Mark Trumbo.
First one in there for a strike. 20th game for Trumbo as a member of the Mariners. He's 159 with a home run and 5 runs batted in. 0 for 3 yesterday. 1 for 6 in the series. Richards got him on a couple of breaking balls his first 2 at-bats yesterday.
And to follow through on that changeup.
Very good season so far for Santiago. Mentioned he's pitching his 16th game. His 1 relief appearance, that was of Garrett Richards in New York. Trumbo fouls it off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. But overall, now including the first inning, 88 1/3. As a matter of fact, 89 innings total, including today. Just 71 hits, 82 strikeouts, 31 walks. The ratio very good. Middle of the pack as far as earned run average is concerned. And dare I say, I know we were talking about this at breakfast, about Houston Street potentially being an all-star. Hector Santiago's got a shot, considering the numbers he's put up. This one's just off the plate. Full count. See how that all plays out with the player vote, and how Ned Yost fills out the rest of the roster. But you've got a guy that has worked out of the bullpen who's having a terrific year as a starter.
Yeah, and his numbers are good. You look at how many decisions he's got. Only 8, 4 and 4, which usually sometimes will keep you away from that opportunity to make the All-Star game. Not a lot of decisions for Hector, but his numbers across the board are very, very good, though.
Yeah, 6th in the American League in earned run average. Archer leads the way for the Rays with a 2.01. 3-2, another foul. Reset it, do it again.
It always seems to be the amount of pitches thrown in the game for Hector. Mike Scioscia has given him an opportunity to throw more pitches in the game, but he's still around that 6th or 7th inning. Very difficult to get a lot of decisions when you're just going through 6 innings for Hector.
Ground ball to third. Freeze plays it on the short hop. And it's another 1-2-3 inning. He should have 2 more starts before the All-Star break. We'll head to the bottom of the second. Scoreless.
day for the Angels to be successful. Ozzy Osbourne. Flying high again. When you're facing a guy as good as Felix Hernandez is, you just look for that one or two mistakes during the course of the game. And when you get those mistakes, you hit it out of the ballpark. Baseball should carry very well on a hot, humid day here at the Big A. Perfect guy to be able to get one of those mistakes right here in Albert Pujols.
Pujols, Freeze, and Joyce here in the second. 9 pitches for Hernandez in the first inning with a couple of strikeouts. Albert hitting .270, 23 home runs, 47 runs batted in. 1 for 3 game yesterday with a single and a walk.
A lot more curveballs, a lot more changeups early in the game for Felix Hernandez. His curveball has been very effective for him this year.
Broken bat roller up the middle. Cano has it with Brad Miller dancing in front of him. Still throws out Pujols for the first out.
Coming up later in the game, we'll check out the big news from around the majors on the Carl's Jr. Sports Update. Big pitching matchup in Baltimore for a local Cleveland starter. And we'll see how it's going with Pittsburgh. They've been playing excellent baseball so far this year, trying to stay close to St. Louis, who has been unbelievable, the Cardinals this year.
What, 50 wins now? Amazing as David Freese takes ball 1. 50 and 24. 50 and 24. Crazy. Next highest win total in Major League Baseball is 43. Kansas City. Houston as well.
And you lose your ace of your staff, your first baseman. Matt Holliday's been hurt, and yet they're still rolling.
Carpenter missed a little bit of time.
Yeah, with extreme fatigue. Got off to a great start, then struggled. Wacha's really turned it on now as far as being the ace of that staff for the Cardinals. He was out for a long period of time last year.
Ball and 2 strikes on Freese, hitting .237 with 10 home runs, 34 runs batted in. Two balls and 2 strikes. The Angels with the win yesterday, now 22 and 17 here at home. But continue to play that seesaw, or on the seesaw, wins and losses. Freese goes down swinging for round number 2. Hale. Groups of 20 or more can enjoy exciting Angels baseball for as low as $6 per ticket. Be sure to make your plans to bring out coworkers, teammates, and family by visiting angels.com/groups to book that outing today.
Speaking of up and down, like the last 5 starts for Felix Hernandez, he's had a bad start, good start, bad start, good start, and then a bad start against Kansas City. And those 3 starts in which he has struggled, 11 2/3 innings pitched, 19 earned runs, including the game against Houston when he went a third of an inning, 8 earned runs.
Broken bat roller up the middle. Miller in the shift has it. And the Angels go down in order. 6 up, 6 down for both sides. We'll head to the third with no score.
Angels have played a lot of tight games. Last 12 meetings decided by 3 runs or less. Ties the longest current streak in Major League Baseball. The Cards and the Pirates, a lot of close, tight games. Both these teams pitch well. And both have been struggling offensively, so a lot of close games between these two.
Bottom third of the order, Miller, Zunino, and Bloomquist. Miller, the shortstop, hitting .236, 6 home runs, and 20 runs batted in. Talk about both teams struggling offensively as this one's flipped out to left field. Joyce tracks it down for the first out. Seattle has hit left-handed pitching better than right-handed pitching this year, .253 compared to .225. The Angels have kind of remained very close as far as the splits, whether it's a righty or a lefty. The Angels' issue, which has been an issue all season long, is the lack of consistency throughout the lineup. You go back to that Friday game in Oakland, which the Angels scored the 8 runs in the 7th inning to pick up the victory against Sonny Gray and the A's. They're only winning that series. They've played 7 games since then. The Angels have averaged just 2.4 runs per game, and they've gone 5 for 39 with men in scoring position. It's not that hard to figure out why this team continues to win 1, lose 1, or win 2 and lose 2. And you're getting some quality pitching now. There was a little stretch there in May where the Angels pitching had 1 week, especially out on the road. The Angels pitching struggled a little bit. Angels offense kind of picked them up at times. But the pitching has been, for the most part, fairly steady. The offense is yet to figure it out.
And the starting staff and the bullpen, pretty solid. And then when you think about it, sometimes it's difficult to pitch in those circumstances because every mistake you make can cost you the game. So you're more apt to not challenge hitters middle part of the plate, go for the corners like that fastball right there from Hector, get a swing and miss. You're more apt to challenge hitters a lot more when you know the offense is rolling, especially like it did last year when you scored, led the league in runs scored.
And in that week, the Angels have gone 3-4. This one's popped up. First base side toward the dugout. Navarro has a play. Another 1-2-3 for Hector Santiago. 9 up and 9 down. We'll head to the third. The Angels have their bottom third coming up. Still scoreless. The 2015 Women's World Cup semifinals because Alex Morgan and Team USA take on Germany with a trip to the final on the line. Coverage begins Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific, only on your local Fox station and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. And then, of course, at 6:30, Switch it over to Angels Live on Fox Sports West.
Boy, what a test for our girls. Germany, the #1 ranked team in the world in women's soccer. Should be a lot of fun to watch that one.
New York Yankees in town beginning tomorrow night, a 3-game set. Yankees currently trailing the Houston Astros 2-1 in the 7th inning. All right, Edna Navarre and Featherston here against Felix Hernandez. 1 ball, 1 strike. Chris hitting .186. 3 home runs and 15 runs batted in. Had the day off yesterday. 1 for 4 Friday night with a single.
That's a pitch he's starting to use a little bit more so, his curveball. Batting average against his curveball thrown more over 110. It's 1 extra base hit against his curveball. He's got 4+ pitches: curveball, slider, changeup, and fastball.
Grounded to short. 1 down. Fans take part of the Junior Angels Care Kits donation program. This initiative will provide Junior Angels Kids Club kits to patients of Chalk Hospital during player visits throughout the season. For more info and to donate, visit angels.com/juniorangels. That walk-up music can only mean one thing.
The man
Effort Navarro.
He is at the plate.
Yep. He'll start at first base. Back up the middle. That's a single. First man to reach for the Angels. First man to reach in this game. Clean single up the middle.
Everett had been 0 for 9 in his career against Felix Hernandez. A pretty good pitch. It's right back up the middle, just by Felix Hernandez for a base hit. Right over the mound and up the middle.
So Featherston will come to the plate with a man on, and Felix will work from the stretch for the first time. Got the start at shortstop yesterday. Went 0 for 3. And for Eric Ibar. Pulls this one foul. Jumped on that first fastball just out in front of it. Ibar, by the way, felt good enough to come in and pinch hit yesterday.
Tough career numbers against Felix Hernandez, though, for 18 for 82.
Cut and paste on that one.
Yes. Combined coming into this game for Chris Iannetta, Cole Calhoun, and Matt Joyce against Felix Hernandez, 5 for 69 in their careers versus Felix Hernandez. So what it tells you you have to do when you get guys on base, even if you're not a team that runs a whole lot, Mike Scioscia may be forced to maybe put some guys in motion as far as a hit and run, hope that the guys are out of their comfortable fielding positions to get a couple hits here and there that way.
Another bouncer foul.
Because when you're on the mound as a pitcher and your opponent is running more, you're more apt to throw a few more fastballs to give your catcher a chance to throw somebody out. By getting another fastball or two against Hernandez, you have a better chance of squaring one of them up, getting up in the air, and getting out of the ballpark.
Doobie, the Angels have had 1 stolen base since June 11th. Featherston goes down swinging for round number 2. I agree with you. I mean, whether you're a runner or not, a base stealer or not, you've got to try to create something.
I'm just taking it from the times being on that mound, when you're on a roll and your opponent has struggled. When a team would run against me, it would force me to slide step, pay attention to the runner, throw more fastballs. Hitters like hitting the fastball, even a good fastball that Felix Hernandez has, but his changeup is so good that you don't want to put yourself in a position to deal with his changeup. His slider is like that also, same thing with his curveball. You have a better chance of squaring up the baseball with a fastball against Felix.
Giavatello strikeout victim in the first. 4 strikeouts for Felix. Navarro standing at first with a single. This is pulled to third. Seager had to go off his glove within a second. No play. Seager's going to get charged with his 8th error, or should anyway. And it is.
This year's Gold Glove winner at third base. Looking up at the video, trying to see what happened on that ground ball. Tried to backhand it. Almost he had plenty of opportunity to get in front of that baseball instead of the backhand.
The old lost art of actually getting in front of a baseball.
Plenty of time to get himself squared up, too, to be able to get in front of it and get a firm throw to first base. And these are the times you have to take advantage of a mistake. Boy, last year we talked about that at the beginning of the game, how the offenses rolled last year. They always took advantage of a mistake made by an opponent defensively.
Cole looks at a strike. 0 for 1 with the fly ball to left.
Change-up and then slider so far for Cole against Felix Hernandez. Cole 1 for 22. Just looking maybe a little flare in the left center field.
Navarro at second, Giavotella at first. Cole rips from the second, but right to Cano. And that'll do it for the Angels here in the third. We'll head to the fourth still with no score.
For Seattle, 5-time AL Designated Hitter of the Year. The award is now named after Edgar Martinez. 312 career batting average with 2,247 hits in his career. One of the best right-handed hitters I've ever seen. Used the entire field and hit line drive after line drive. Now trying to work with the hitters with Seattle.
Jackson, Gutierrez, and Cano here in the fourth. Top of the order for Seattle. Question is now, they've tried to make a push. Do you think Edgar's a Hall of Famer? No balls, 2 strikes on Jackson, who's 0 for 1.
I think so. I mean, when you ask people who's the best, one of the best pure hitters in that era when he was playing, they would always say Edgar Martinez. And everyone will say, well, he DH'd a lot of his career. Well, that's a position.
Yeah, I don't mind the whole DH thing. It's just a matter of, did he rack up enough numbers as a DH to justify it? Like Jim Thome racked up quite a few numbers, but he also did it as well at third base and first base. Yeah. But a good chunk of the back end of his career was.
Well, Edgar, too, was a third baseman initially,
yeah.
too, but then so many hamstring problems end up being just a designated hitter. It's a tough call.
He's in the Great Guy Hall of Fame, that's for sure.
No question. He would have even been a nicer guy if he made a few more outs against me, but that's a whole new story.
He was going to right center field as a right-handed batter before it was in vogue. Got him swinging. 3-2 fastball, 1 down, second strikeout for Hector.
And I think in this day and age with all the shifts being put on defensively, he would still be successful as far as the batting average because he used the entire field. You couldn't move everybody over to the left side of the infield because he would shoot a line drive to right center field with the best of them. Good power to right center field. Something down and in, he would hit out to left field. Always seemed to throw 5, 6, 7 pitches against him every time you faced him, too.
Count even up at a ball and a strike on Gutierrez, who hit a fly ball to left the first. 10 up, 10 down for Hector. Couple of strikeouts. 2 ground outs, and the rest in the air.
Jammed them there. And that's the thing Hector's been doing very well. Getting fastballs inside against right-handed batters. And not only getting in there once, but will back it up with another good fastball at the same location. Those hitters, once you see a fastball in, generally will start looking away. Hasn't had a good feel for that arm side pitch, whether it's his fastball or changeup early on, but a lot of success with his other pitches, though.
Two ripped to left. A single puts a man on for the first time for Seattle today. And Robinson Cano will come up. Take a look at the Angels' upcoming schedule presented by Honda. New York Yankees in town for 2 night games and then a afternoon matinee. 4:05 start on Wednesday.
And off to Texas. Games in Colorado, then finish off the first half with a 4-game series in Seattle.
Yeah, right before the All-Star break. 9-game trip. Angels will head out of town after the game on Wednesday. Spend the off day in Arlington before starting that 3-game series against Texas. 3 night games in Texas, by the way, including a 6:05 start on Sunday. Three different start times, too. 7:05, 8:05 local time. This is Central Standard Time, and then 6:05. Then another off day in Denver. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Robinson Cano, grounded out to second. He has hit 5 outs towards second base in this series. One of which was a big double play to end the 6th inning yesterday for Seattle.
And one thing about Hector, he does not waste time, stays right on that pitching rubber. Cano trying to slow down Hector by stepping out of the batter's box.
Bouncer foul.
I'm just looking where Hector, we talk about those pitching lane he draws up as he lands, but right now when you see where his landing foot is and how thrown across his body. It's very difficult for a left-handed batter to stay inside. They're already open up that front hip because they're not seeing the baseball well, and he's hiding it well and throwing across his body. You would think the outer part of the plate would be wide open for him here, which it was, and pretty good pitch. Just a little bit off the outside corner. Well, he kept the glove right there, just about a half a baseball off that corner.
Two balls and two strikes. Gutierrez at first base with one out. No score here in the fourth. Full count.
We can see how difficult it is for a left-handed batter just to be able to read the baseball from Hector's thrown across his body, and all of a sudden that baseball out of his hand, whether it's a fastball or a slider. As a lefty, you're trying to keep that front hip tucked in to have a better chance to have outside plate coverage. Difficult to do against Hector.
3-2 lifted foul. Gutierrez was on the move, so he'll head back to first. Nelson Cruz on deck.
Gutierrez used to run a little bit back in 2010, 25 stolen bases. And he was only caught 3 times, so he had good speed also.
Takes off the 3-2, ripped foul.
And that's the one danger spot. When you throw at something off speed in the inner half against Cano when he's already opening up, that gives him a better opportunity to get the barrel of the bat on the baseball. And he's pulled that one foul. Be real careful when you go inside against Cano, especially when you have that outer part of the plate set up for you to be able to get him out.
And he walks him. Ten pitches in that plate appearance for Cano. So 2 on, 1 out. Nelson Cruz coming to the plate. Suffered an upper right leg injury Monday. He's been DHing since. Trumbo's been playing right.
Quick conversation with Giavitello and Hector about the potential of maybe spin around, pick off move with Gutierrez if he gets a big lead against him, especially because you're going to be close to that base anyhow with Cruz at the plate.
And now Inett is going to go out, and as is Mike Butcher. Ball's behind it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Seattle yesterday 1 for 10 with men in scoring position. They are 2 for 19 in the series. So even though the Angels have had their issues with men in scoring position, Seattle's really struggled all season long. Just a .205 batting average in such situations.
And Cruz has only grounded into 1 double play this year. You see, that's what you would love to be able to get if you're Hector, although we showed early in the game his percentage of fly ball outs as compared to ground ball outs. Highest percentage as far as fly ball outs as compared to ground ball outs in baseball.
One hit that Seattle did pick up yesterday with a man in scoring position was an infield hit courtesy of David Freese. Terrific play that kept the runner at third base, prevented a run from scoring. Cruz fouls this one off. 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out and 2 on. Cruz drives one out to the alley, right center field. Trout's not going to get this one. It's a liner off the wall. Being waved in as Gutierrez. Cano is stopped at third. It's a double for Nelson Cruz. 1-0 Seattle.
Well, that baseball just kept tailing away from Trout. That was a line drive missile right off the wall. Pitch it was down, but middle part of the plate, and he's looking to drive the ball that way. See how hard this baseball goes off the wall. Trout gets it in quickly, prevent 2 runs for scoring. It's going to force the infield in, especially with Felix Hernandez on the mound on the other side. Can't afford to give up any more runs here.
Cano at third, Cruz at second, picks up his 10th double, his 46th run batted in. And Seager at the plate, he grounded out to Giavotella. He lines one out to right field. It's going to hang up for Cole. He'll make the catch. Cano late to tag, is not going to score.
Well, Seager not real happy about that one at all. Surprise is a base runner to third base. Even if that baseball falls in front of Cole, you're going to score anyhow easily. You got to get right back to the base. It's a huge break. Goes back towards the base, but then stopped. Cole got it in quickly. What a break. It's one of those plays too. As a hitter, you're not real happy because you did your job. You squared up a baseball. You got to get that RBI in.
Seager was looking for his 38th RBI. Squared it up, but Cole makes the catch. 2 down. Now Trumbo at the plate. Hector's going to work for the full windup. Trumbo grounded out to Freeze in the second. 1-0 Seattle here in the 4th. Single, a walk, and a double. Trying to keep it right there.
Yeah, if you can escape with only 1 run allowed in this inning, you got to feel real good about that.
Good pitch on the inside part of the plate. One now. 1-2. That's the differentiator for Hector Santiago this year. Gets right-handed batters, really doubling up, even tripling up on that fastball in. So important for any pitcher.
Yeah, if you can go back-to-back fastballs in, make sure it's in the inside corner or just off the inside corner, you could be very successful in the major leagues with a lefty and a righty pitcher.
And he struck him out, challenged him with a fastball, and that'll do it for Seattle. They do strike for a run. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. Trout, Pujols, and Freeze coming up, down 1-0. And we welcome to our broadcast booth, and nice job by Hector Santiago to limit it to 1 run, and bad base running, of course, by Robinson Cano. It should have been 2-0, but you'll take that against Felix Hernandez. Now it's up to the guys to kind of scratch out and run.
Yeah, but you referenced, Hector being able to get inside with that fastball back to back against a very good fastball hitter in Mark Trumbo. When you can get inside against a power right-handed bat, you could be successful throughout this entire game.
Yeah, Felix Hernandez has allowed 1 base runner, 2 base runners, I should say, a single. Tepper Navarro in the 3rd, and Giavatello reached on the error by Seager. But then he got cold and lined out to Cano, so he'll face Mike Trout here to start the 4th. 4 strikeouts for Hernandez, no walks, the 1 hit allowed. Trout a strikeout victim himself in the 1st. Looks at a strike. 34 pitches thrown by Felix Hernandez. 27 strikes.
That's a pretty good pitch. Fastball. Zunino didn't exactly frame that well. We're used to seeing him doing such a good job behind the plate as far as framing pitches. So in this sequence, Trout has seen a slider, a fastball, now a changeup. First at bat, he got him out with a curveball.
A couple of Mariners fans behind the first base dugout, or back behind the camera well past the dugout with the King of this court K signs, chanting the old K that we see down in the left field corner at Safeco Field.
See quite a few of them down there
at
Safeco.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
Of course, some action down the Trout farm here at the Big A. See if he can hook one down there in the corner.
That Trout farm right now is swimming in sweat.
Yes.
It's hot down there. Not many folks down there right now. There's out number 1. Pujols coming up.
Look at the home run leaders in the American League. Albert leading, Trout right behind him, tied for 2nd. Nelson Cruz with 19 also. So 3 of the leaders as far as home runs in the American League in this game here today at the Big A, in the day game.
Albert grounded out the 2nd. Last start for Felix Hernandez was against Kansas City at home. But taking the loss, gave up 4 runs in 6 2/3, allowed 9 hits. A rough month of June for him. Uncharacteristic. Breaking ball in there. 2 balls and a strike. Felix in June, a 2-3 record, but the 6.75 ERA. It's allowed 20 runs in 26 2/3 innings coming into this start. Albert bounces it foul. 2-2.
Really mixing in a lot of his off-speed pitch to go along with his fastball because he has great movement on his fastball. Look at his ERA per month in April, 1.82. He's rated 2 in May, but in June, well over 6. 2-3 record. Yeah, real tough game against the Astros.
Tied him up with a fastball up and in, 2 outs.
What the Astros did so well against him, and it was only a 3rd inning pitch, they did not go after his changeup at all. Because his changeup has such good movement that it never stays inside the strike zone. Fastball up. Yeah, not overpowering necessarily with his fastball like he used to have, but it's such good movement. He cuts his fastball and also sinks it.
Breeds a strikeout victim in the second is 0 for 1. 6 punch outs for Hernandez. Seattle scoring in the top of the 4th. RBI double by Nelson Cruz. Off the glove of Zunino.
Go back to Felix's changeup. I want to say it almost looks and acts as if it's a split finger changeup. He says it's not a splitter, but it reacts like that. It's 88 to 90, sometimes 91 mile an hour changeup. Any way you want to put it, it's a very difficult pitch to make good contact, but if it starts at the knees, it's never going to end up being a strike, so you're better off just letting that one go.
A 3-1 count here with 2 outs. First one of the afternoon. Matt Joyce on deck. And there's a walk. First free pass issued. Comes with 2 outs.
Left fielder, number 20, Matt Joyce.
Matt Joyce grounded out in the second. Matt getting to start out on left. DH yesterday against the left-hander Happ. And 0 for 2, and that's when Ibar pinch hit for him in the 7th inning. One ball, no strikes. He was up the count. Good off speed pitch.
Yeah, changeup, but it was up though. That's your one chance against the changeup there. That's what you want to try to do. To bring his changeup up in the strike zone. 88 mile an hour changeup, had some decent movement, but it was elevated enough where you can still time that well as a hitter.
One ball, 2 strikes. Couple of strikeouts and the walk to Freeze. And the tying run over at first base. Here's the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Five-time All-Star, 2010 Cy Young Award winner. Tough against the Angels of late. And has continued so far in the early going of today's game. 2-2. Full count. So Freeze will be on the move now. Bloomquist at first base will move back with the lefty up. So back-to-back batters. He's gone to a 3-ball count. Here's the payoff. And he walked him. So back-to-back walks.
Laid off a couple of tough changeups. Felix Hernandez a little frustrated right now.
And yet another meeting on the mound. Zunino, Bloomquist. Outfield straight up with Chris Arnett at the plate. One hit allowed for Felix Hernandez. That was Efrain Navarro with a single in the third. Efrain on deck. 1-0. Been erratic all of a sudden. Even in the at-bat to Pujols, the pitch that he struck out at Albert on was a fastball up and in. It would not have been a strike. Albert went down swinging. But that arm side's been up and away pretty much this entire inning. There's another one.
Being patient with his changeup. We mentioned that how the Astros did very well as far as not chasing his changeup in that game, and all of a sudden uncomfortable throwing that pitch, flying open with his front shoulder. When you do that with the changeup, you drag your elbow. You're going to have lateral movement. You're not going to work that pitch down. Very difficult to get a hitter to swing at that pitch.
Corey Blazer, the home plate umpire, going out to break up the rock pile. 1-0 Seattle. We're in the fourth. Back-to-back strikeouts from Trout and Pujols and back-to-back walks of Freeds and Joyce giving the Angels an opportunity here. Felix all of a sudden is about to throw his 25th pitch.
Well, he's really starting to try to force his changeup. Take a look at the changeup he threw to David Freese, where he tried to force that one. See how much that moved his changeup on that pitch. Not comfortable with that since that point.
Fastball off the plate, 3-0. Chris pulling the trigger on 3-0. Comes up empty. 3-1.
I generally have no problem swinging on 3-0, but that pitch is a perfect pitch for Felix, thrown on the outside corner. When you have the 3-0 green light from your manager, you're looking for a zone where you could do some damage. That's a very tough pitch to make contact with.
Ground ball to second. Jammed him. And the Angels will leave 2 on. 4 complete here at the Big A. 1-0 Seattle.
EPA estimate of 31 miles per gallon. Visit Jeep.com for more information. By AT&T UVerse, more live channels on the go than cable. By Keck Medicine of USC, beyond exceptional medicine. And by Subaru. Test drive the all-new 2015 Subaru Forester or go to Subaru.com to learn more.
Well, the Angels have left a base runner in scoring position the last 2 innings. Trail this one 1-0 as we start the 5th. Miller, Zunino, and Bloomquist to start this 5th inning against Hector Santiago, who's had his issues in the 4th, but limited that to just 1 run. Struck out Trumbo Keep two base runners in scoring position. Miller swinging first pitch. Lines one out to right. Cole Calhoun there. One out.
On these warm days, you love those quick outs. A pretty long inning for Hector last inning. Trying to have a quick one here. Force Felix Hernandez to get back out on that mound after he struggled in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Mike Zunino, a strikeout victim in the 3rd. One of 3 punch outs for Hector. Zunino with a couple of hits yesterday, including a home run. His 8th of the year. Two balls and a strike. Seattle heads down to San Diego. They'll have an off day at San Diego tomorrow before taking on the Padres. 2-game series, and they go up to Oakland for 4.
They know San Diego very well. They share the same complex in Peoria. Spring training.
Their natural rival.
Oh, yeah.
Interleague play. Zunino goes down swinging for the 2nd time today. 2 down. As natural as possible, anyway.
Yes.
And this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Los Angeles Angels. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. Two outs, nobody on for the ever popular Willie Bloomquist. The start today at first base, popped out in foul territory his first time up. Bloomquist hitting 164 at the start of the day. Backup. Bounce around the infield. You can play some outfield for you if you want. Foul tips that one at the mid. 2 balls and a strike. Do you like the whole natural rival thing in interleague play? If interleague play, well, it has to remain now with 2 15-team leagues. So if you know that you're going to play a certain division, the Angels are playing the West this year in the National League. Just fouls it off 2-2. Would it be great if instead of doing that, the Angels this year have 3-3 with the Dodgers. It's a random pick for every team. So you play the division that the rest of your division's playing, but then the other games you have are just however it rolls out.
Yeah, that makes it difficult to do, but obviously
for the schedule,
yeah, depending on you have both New York teams going at it, Chicago teams going at it. That makes it pretty easy to be able to figure those things out. But there's, Rob Manfred mentioned the other day about potential expansion. He talked about Portland, Oregon. Now that would certainly be a rival for Seattle.
Yeah.
If that ever came about.
I'm not sure. I think the last thing Major League Baseball needs to do is expand. I don't think there's any sport right now that needs to expand. If you start talking about the big thing now, especially for the last couple of years, is how the offense has gone down. Well, just because you get more players playing doesn't mean that the product gets better. If anything, maybe you dilute the product.
Well, they're hoping the dilution of pitching.
They had him picked off. The tag by Featherston is applied. Bloomquist is called out. Nice pickoff by Hector Santiago. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th, and Seattle leading it. Hernandez. 6 strikeouts and 2 walks. Nice pickoff of Willie Bloomquist to finish off the top of the inning. The only action so far as run, there's only been one. Double by Cruz. It almost knocked down the right field wall. Base running mistake by Robinson Cano on the fly ball by Seager. Cost the Mariners their second run at it. Efren looks at a strike. He singled up the middle in the third inning. He only hit the Angels half.
He's got a real good feel for his curveball, though. That's a good curveball. He dropped in right against Navarro. You hope that inning, last inning, didn't get away from the Angels when you had a chance because he with a couple of walks. Especially when you go 3-0 against Chris Iannetta and then eventually get out of the inning. So curveball, changeup to Efren Navarro so far from Felix Hernandez.
And he chases for the first down. Brings up Featherston. Angels will welcome in the New York Yankees for a 3-game set beginning tomorrow. It's a 7:05 start. Purchase your tickets at the Angel Stadium ticket office or online. Wrapping up this homestand.
Looks like New York lost to Houston today. They scored a bunch of runs. They were up 6-1 yesterday in the game before Houston tied it up and then won it late.
Astros winning now with 3-1. Texas lost 3-2 to Toronto. Tigers walked off on the White Sox 5-4. Tigers scored 4 in the 8th and walked off in the 9th. There's a start by Jeff Samardzija. Boston 5-3 over Tampa. Baltimore beat Cleveland.
Dude, they have a doubleheader.
Yep.
A lot of rain on the East Coast yesterday.
2 balls and a strike on Taylor Featherston. Shortstop for the second straight day. Strikeout victim in the third. Two hits for Seattle, 1 for the Angels. Very quiet ball game here. Starters have done a nice job. Both ran into a little trouble in the 4th. Felix got out of it. 2 outs.
What do we say about chasing that pitch when it starts at the knees? Very difficult to make contact against Felix Hernandez. Back-to-back batters for Darnell Featherston. It starts right at the knees. Change up that one at 91.
8th strikeout of the afternoon for Hernandez to go with the 2 walks.
When we look at his arsenal, not one of his pitches is a straight pitch, whether it's a 4-seam fastball, 2-seam fastball. They both have movement, and a slider, curve, and change, the same thing. The only time he runs into problems at all is when he elevates his pitches.
It's most strikeouts he has had in a game since May 27th. That was a start against Tampa when he had 8. Most on the season, 12 against Texas. That was his 3rd start of the year. Johnny is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and reached on the air by Seager. Bouncing this one foul. That's no balls and 2 strikes. Hernandez thought he got the upper part of the strike zone there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Seattle in the top of the 6th inning has the top of its order coming up with Jackson, Gutierrez, and Cano. 73 pitches now for Felix. Both starters about equal as far as the pitch count is concerned. Cole on deck. Johnny bounces off another one. C.J. Wilson on the mound tomorrow. Going up against C.C. Sabathia. Andrew Heaney making his second start as an Angel. Going up against Ivan Nova. And Matt Shoemaker and Adam Warren wrapping up the 3-game series on Wednesday. Remember, Wednesday is a 4:05 start.
Giampatel battling with Felix here and fighting on some tough pitches. He's hoping for that mistake. A lot of these pitches have been upstairs, and that's the baseball that Giampatel can hit hard. I'd be surprised to see a changeup from Felix Hernandez here. Bounce it, try to bounce it against Giampatel.
This one off the plate, and that is foul. Heads up play by Giampatel, just running down the line in case that ball stays fair.
Especially on a curveball with the spin off the end of the bat. You never know if it could roll back into fair territory.
John has been a bright spot for the Angels. Especially going into spring training, not knowing who the second baseman was going to be. Done a nice job to date. Takes low.
Come up with some very big hits, especially late in games. Good contact hitter.
This one's driven out to right field, hit well. Going back on it is Trumbo, still drifting back, and he will make the catch just shy of the wall. Johnny gave it a ride, but not enough as the Angels go down in order. We head to the 6th. Seattle still leading it.
Summary, Nelson Cruz with 2 on, rocket off the wall, scoring through the errors, and then King Felix with his assortment of slider, curveball, changeup, fastball, velocity, location has been excellent, keeping that 1-0 lead here. And we are now in the top of the 6th inning. Hector Santiago is also throwing the ball very, very well.
He'll face Jackson, Gutierrez, and Cano here in the 6th inning for Seattle. Couple of hits for the Mariners. They both occurred in the 4th. Single by Franklin, and then the double by Nelson. Austin Jackson 0 for 2. Fly ball to center to strikeout. Santiago at 75 pitches. This one misses low. Two all. Chase would have been ball 3, and it's 2-1.
It's a hitter thinking in terms of a 2-0 pitch. I'm going to get a fastball. Instead, got a changeup.
You still kind of have to track.
Yeah, you just can't swing into zone. You can't assume he's going to try to sneak a fastball back in on you. At least in the fastball count like that.
This was lined towards center field. Not very deep. Trout comes in. You'll play it on a hop. So it's a leadoff single for Austin Jackson. We'll see if there's movement by Jackson. Try to add something here against Hector Santiago. Seven stolen bases. He's been caught 6 times. Franklin Gutierrez has a couple of good swings today. He lined out to Navarro in the first inning, singled left and scored in the 4th.
That was more of a product. Let's see if Gutierrez would square around the bunt. I don't think they're going to be bunting here. You know, Robinson Cano is on deck, but it's lefty versus lefty.
Seattle with 29 stolen bases, 12th in the American League in that category. Now we're way outside. Hector kind of sped things up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Seattle took game 1 on Friday. Angels tying the series up yesterday with their 4-2 win. Trail this one here in the 6th. This one's popped up. Chris Iannetta stepped on his helmet. Able to stay with the baseball, makes the catch for the first out.
That baseball was up, way up in the sky for quite a while.
Not too many times the catcher stays right around that catcher's box area. Make a catch on a foul pop-up. Of course, there's a delay here. The jack wagons run onto the field here, and that's what we got to wait for. Nothing like the patented announcement after the fact to as a reminder not to run onto the field.
Never makes any sense whatsoever to do that.
Well, they got a workout, so did the security guards, that's for sure.
Hector should be able to get a few throws in.
Yeah.
Although in a warm day like today, you might not want to waste a whole lot of extra throws. Almost feels like it would be like if we were in Baltimore. The humidity here today.
That was almost like a Bugs Bunny cartoon to watch.
It didn't look real.
No. A lot of swings and misses. Let's just put it that way. All right. Play restored. Robinson Cano up with 1 out and a man on. Cano for 1. He grounded out of the first inning, walked in the fourth. Oh, 1 count. Jackson with a single stands at first. Oh, 2. Good location on that pitch with Robinson at the plate. Team leader in double plays this year. He's grounded into 11.
Trying to basically what it comes down to, he's trying to pull the outside pitch, hits ground ball to second.
And he chases the breaking ball. Down goes Cano. 2 down. 5th strikeout for Hector.
Real good location in this breaking ball. Good hard, sharp slider. Way out of the strike zone. Perfect pitch by Hector.
Nelson Cruz looks at a breaking ball for a strike. He doubled off the wall in right center in the 4th inning. 10th double, 46th RBI. The difference in this game. The start of the day, Stephen Vogt marches share. Miguel Cabrera leading the RBI category in the American League, each with 53. Handles in the bottom of the 6th have Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols coming up. Trying to figure out Felix Hernandez. Back to his old self. Here's the 0-2. Up and in. That right there, my friends, a product of someone looking out for something over the plate.
Especially when you have that type of coverage on a fastball that Hector threw that last time where he hit the double off the wall. That pitch was down. So he's looking out over the plate and down.
Come back inside, right?
Yeah, got to. Up and in.
And he got him. Down goes Cruz. It's the 3rd out of the inning. Nice job by Santiago. Head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols. The Angels down 1-0.
Took the loss, went 7 innings, 4 earned runs. The Pittsburgh Pirates raised that Jolly Roger again. They have won 2 in a row, been playing very good baseball, but they lost today 2-1 to Atlanta. They're playing some great baseball, trying to stay in that race. We mentioned the Cardinals earlier with the St. Louis Cardinals. 8 games back, although 10 games over 500 coming into the game for the Pirates.
Cole Calhoun to lead things off against Felix Hernandez. By the way, that's incredible. 8 back, 10 over 500.
Yeah. You're in first place in the AL East. You're in first place in the AL West. And you're in first place in the NL West.
Yep.
And, by the way, you're in first place in the NL East, too. Everywhere but your own division. What are you thinking about, Pittsburgh?
Finally got there. Clint Hurdle getting the job done again.
Hey, there's great throwback unis working today. Those hats.
And Garrett Cole pitching like a serious ace.
It's almost if you foul a baseball against him, it's a major accomplishment.
Cole fouls off the 2-0. You talk about a guy on the mound that's got an edge to him every 5th day.
He doesn't like when anybody even swings well against him. I'm not even talking about contact.
Good.
I mean, swings well. Yeah, he's got a good edge to him.
Bumgarner's the same way.
No question. Walker we saw here in the game 1 here for Seattle.
Yeah, Taiwan Walker.
Very good edge.
Felix has always had it.
Oh, yeah. Kershaw has it.
When he's going good, forget it.
And Weaver, when he's rolling and feeling good, has that edge to him.
Cole 0 for 2, a fly ball to left and a line out to Robinson Cano. That is the 3rd walk issued by Felix Hernandez. This one leads off the inning and traveled bad with a man on.
Back to my Hyundai key for this game today against Seattle and Felix Hernandez. Flying high again. And we talked about Trout. Had some success against King Felix with 3 career home runs. Looking to be able to get a big swing right here to give the Halos a lead here in the 6th.
Oh for 2 with a couple of punch outs. 8 strikeouts for Felix Hernandez today. First one inside, that's the off-speed pitch. 1 hit for the Angels. Efrain Navarro, 1 out single in the 3rd. Angels have stranded 4. 2 in scoring position. Missing to that arm side again. And remember, you go back to the 4th inning. After he struck out Trout and Pujols, really got wild and erratic, issuing back-to-back walks. Here comes Lloyd McClendon.
We'll make sure he's okay. And I think that's the big thing. And Lloyd does this very well for me as a manager. When he sees something wrong with his pitcher, a lot of times you send your pitching coach out. He just wants to hear something from his ace. How you feeling? What's going on? What pitches you're going to go with against a very dangerous hitter in Mike Trout right here. So Lloyd McClendon does a very solid job working with his staff.
Going back to that 4th inning after he walked Freeze and Joyce with 2 outs, fell behind on Iannetta, 3-0. Chris fouled back to 3-1 pitch, or 3-0 pitch, I should say. Then on 3-1 got jammed to ground out to end the inning and a threat. Looks like they're going to get some action going in the bullpen. 85 pitches for Felix.
You would look to see, I mean, there's no question in my mind now when you think about it. He's got to have the green light here for Trout. Although Trout doesn't swing often 3-0, he's got to look for a fastball. He might not get one, but if anything nearer the zone, he's got to be up there hacking.
He's hacking. He bounces to 3rd. Seager fires to Cano for 1. The relay back to 1st. In time, a double play. And that's one of those pitcher's pitches, isn't it?
Almost the same thing that he did against Chris Iannetta 3-0. I think it's the right decision. And Mike Trout is a very good low ball hitter. And that pitch was down. That might be it. The way Felix is moving around, it looked like his leg or something. Doesn't feel real comfortable.
That's going to be a medical visit here. Felix wants to wave him off.
That's a good play by Seager. That's a tough in-between hopping. Fielding got rid of it quickly. You know how quick the turn is for Robinson Cano to be able to turn a double play against Trout.
Just to your point about Mike Trout not swinging 3-0. That's his 19th plate appearance in which he's had a 3-0 count. And now he's 1 for 4 with 15 walks. That's how infrequent he is.
Some hitters
are
comfortable doing swinging 3-0. Some are not. They figure they're going to get the exact same pitch 3-1 as they would 3-0.
Right.
Although the way Trout has swung the bat in the major league level, he might not get the same pitch 3-1.
I don't know, Gilby, the way he's walking around, that seems like a lower half issue.
Yeah, exactly.
Does not look comfortable for some reason.
The way he was walking behind the mound, is something bothering him in his leg or something?
Appears to be all right. He's talked his way to staying in there.
We talked about how competitive he is. Knowing the fact is you're facing Albert Pujols coming up. And you don't necessarily feel great, but you want to compete. See if Albert can get a mistake now.
A couple of proud individuals facing each other now. Felix Hernandez and Albert Pujols. Two individuals very difficult to pull out of a game, regardless of what's going on with them. And the first one is down and away. Albert 0 for 2, a ground ball to second and a strikeout. Breaking ball in there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Joe Bible, the lefty, has joined Mark Lowe in the Mariners bullpen. Which might just be Felix's last inning. Maybe even last batter, all depends. Ground ball up the line. That is foul. Just wide of the bag at third. Jeff Nelson, the crew chief, making the call. He's the third base umpire today.
A lot of ball speed in this at bat so far against Pujols. Did get him last time up with a high fastball. Just missed pulling that one right down the line.
It's the old game of cat and mouse. 1-2 now. Last time you said got him with a fastball up and in. Does he stay with the stuff or does he go breaking ball or off
I think
speed?
he'll try to bounce something. He's not quite convinced he can get the fastball by Pujols at this point. Even though he got him earlier with that fastball upstairs. Whether he's having a problem landing right to be able to finish off a fastball, he feels in his mind his changeup or breaking balls is his better pitch, the way he's feeling at this point.
2-2 now. Albert checked his swing. Yes, he did. Chris Cuccione over at first base. Full count, Freeze on deck. There's the payoff. Albert. It's a breaking ball and he fouls it off.
Every pitch been all speed. It's kind of a hanging curveball too.
Another 3-2. Albert chops it foul.
That time he threw him a fastball. Stayed away, forced him to use the big part of the yard. Look at the difference in the pitch speeds in this at bat against Pujols. When you see those, that 90, 88, 89, that's a changeup from Felix Hernandez. That last one, 93, a fastball.
Albert fouls it back.
Another fastball, perfect spot again. Now, if he was really feeling his normal self, he would go fastball upstairs now, because you have Albert tracking everything downstairs around the knees.
Albert skies one out toward left field. Playable for Franklin and Gutierrez. Just got underneath it. And the Angels are done here in the 6th. We'll head to the 7th. Seattle leading at 1-0. Angels. WC by Mercury Insurance, on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com to get a fast free quote and see how much you can save. And by Hyundai. The 4th of July sales event is going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. Top of the 7th here at Angel Stadium. 1-0 ball game. Seattle scoring the run in the 4th inning on the double by Cruz. And that has been it. Aside from that, Hector Santiago has been fantastic. 6 strikeouts, 2 walks. He'll face Seager, Trumbo, and Miller. This is pulled and knocked down by Johnny Giavotella on the dive. Seager retired for the first out. Well, he has squared up the ball twice now in the last 2 at-bats. Nothing to show for it.
A nice play by Giavotella. We've talked about how well he's hit in certain situations, but this is what Mike Scioscia wants to see from Giavotella, making those not only routine plays, but those really good plays at second base, showing good range and getting up and making a nice throw. Don't give those extra outs, showing that range for Giavotella. Nice play by Johnny G.
Seager now 0 for 3 as Trumbo steps to the plate. He's 0 for 2. He started in right field in all 3 games. Ground ball to third base. He struck out in the 4th. Runners at second and third. Trumbo gets one out to left. In on the hands, just enough.
Pretty good indication how strong Trumbo is. It's off the plate. He's got underneath that one. The fly ball out for Hector. He's been throwing the ball very well once again today.
2 quick outs to start this 7th. Charlie Furbush loosening for Seattle. Looks like Felix might be done after 6. Freeze, Joyce, and I had to do up for the Angels in the 7th. I wonder if Mike Scioscia will pinch at somebody for Joyce. How about this quick inning for Hector Santiago? 1, 2, 3, go the M's. 7th inning stretch time here at Angel Stadium. Halos trailing at 1-0. Phillies departing here after 6 innings. I'm not sure if they'll tell us why, but obviously there was something going on with him in the 6th inning. Got out of it, limited the damage after the leadoff walk to Cole Calhoun got tried to hit in the double play ball, and then Albert hit the fly ball to left. So still, even though that, because early on he looked really good. I mean, there was no hesitation. That 4th inning hiccup, which was uncharacteristic for him.
The pitch to David Freese, all of a sudden it went apart. But having that struggle a little bit with your, how well you feel, and you still only give up 1 hit in 6 shutout innings. I love to feel that awful every time out.
A pedestrian, just over 3 ERA, and everyone's wondering what is going on. It's like Kershaw.
Yes, exactly.
He has won a couple of bad outings. All of a sudden, what's going on? Still very, very good as Charlie Furbush comes into the ball games. They're in and out. Who's in, who is out. Furbush pitching his 31st game. 0-1 record and a 1.86 ERA. It's David Freese, Matt Joyce, and Chris Iannetta, the scheduled 3 batters. Looks like Joyce is being called back from the on-deck circle. And, as we expected, they would pinch hit a righty. It looks like Dan Robertson has come out. Freese 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. That hit him. Fastball up and in, got him in the shoulder, and the Angels get their leadoff man on board for the 2nd straight inning.
I was going to say, Furbush still a little more fastballs than normal. That's a fastball at 91. His fastball is 90-94 range. Good slider changeup.
Kyle Kubica making his way to first base. He's going to pinch run for Freese.
Goes inside, making sure if he's going to miss, he's going to miss off the plate. Gets right around that shoulder, tricep area.
Kubica will stay in the game and play third base. Kyle's not your prototypical third base. He can run a little bit. Had 21 stolen bases last year. At AAA this year had 4 triples. Robertson pinch hitting here for Joyce. Seager creeping in over at third base, and they will check in. Robertson looked like he was showing bunt there.
And that's why you'll see that the manager puts a sign on, gives it to the catcher, just to throw over to see if the batter will square around. Then you know a bunt play will be on. A lot of times smart hitters will do that anyhow. As soon as they see him to throw over, they'll square around the bunt.
Robertson in his 11th game with the Angels this year. Shows bunt, takes a fastball down and in. Robertson 5 for 20 as an Angel. 2 runs batted, and he's 1 for 2 as a pinch hitter with an RBI. That's down and in. It gets away from Zunino. Kubica will advance to second.
Right now, Furbush with no command. That's 3 pitches he has thrown. 2 almost hit Robertson, and he hit David Freese. So even though the wild pitch, you have a guy in scoring position, I still don't think Mike Scioscia necessarily will take away the bunt here. Try to move him over to third base. Well, you always got to keep an eye on the shortstop and or second baseman sneaking behind Kubica potentially to have a pickoff. So you have to be aware of that as a base runner at second.
Robinson drops the ball on the third base side. Seager's got it. And the sacrifice works as Kubica advances to third. Brad Miller wanted a pickoff at second base. He cut in.
So I thought was going to be put on. Yeah, and Kubica didn't move a whole lot. Nice job by Robertson again. That bunt down. We've seen that a number of times from him. Been very solid. You see Miller trying to sneak behind. Kubica easily gets the third base on that very well done bunt attempt. Right down to Robertson.
Lloyd McClendon making his way out. Mark Lowe, who was loosening last inning, is back up. It looks like he is going to be called upon here to face Chris Iannetta. So Furbush is done after a third of an inning. A hit batter to sacrifice bunt by Robertson. We have a Chelsea pitching change here in the 7th. It's 1-0 Seattle. The Angels with a man at third. Lloyd McClendon's gone to the pen to bring in Mark Lowe. This is his 22nd game for the former Angel. No record and a .82 earned run average. 22 innings, 18 hits, 26 strikeouts, and 10 walks. He did pitch yesterday with 1 inning and 2 punch-outs and hit allowed, and that was in 22 pitches. Looks like it might just be a one-batter situation. As Eric Ibar is going to pinch hit for Chris Sinetta. And with Navarro on deck, Joe Beimel, another lefty, getting ready in the pen for Seattle.
In the infield in for Seattle. One thing about Lowe, he's got a pretty good fastball, 91 to 95 range. Hard slider, but he does bounce that slider quite a bit.
2 wild pitches this year. Kubica, the base runner, over at third base. Ibar looks at a strike. Eric pinch hit yesterday for Matt Joyce. Ended up popping out. That was an infield pop-up. 261 batting average. 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter. Eric's been dealing with some tightness in his hamstring. Reaches for this one. That's a base hit to left. Kubica scores. This game is tied up at 1.
Oh, the nature boy would love that one. That's a little flare into the outfield. But it looks like a rocket for Eric Ibar. Base hit, RBI.
A big wild pitch, too, by the way, by Charlie Furbush. It basically gifted that second base to Kubica.
And with the infield in, you're just trying to make contact. Flares it into the outfield for an RBI single for Eric Ibar.
Here comes the pitching change. Carlos Perez is the pinch runner at first base. He's going to stay in the game anyways to catch. And with Navarro coming up, it'll be the left-hander, Joe Beimel, coming on to relief. So the Angels tied up with 1 out here in the 7th inning. Another pitching change. We are now tied at 1. A Pennsylvania native comes on to face Efrain Navarro, so the old lefty-lefty matchup. Beimel was signed in early April. Took him a while to get signed, especially after a very good season last year with Seattle, pitching 56 games at a 2.20 ERA. Now he's pitching in his 21st this season.
Yeah, fastball is 87, 91 range, slider, curve, change in the very, very good pickoff move. Even though more likely Perez will not be going, you still have to be aware of that pickoff move, even as you start drifting out. It's very quick to first.
St. Mary's, Pennsylvania. By the way, they'll check in over to first base and Perez back. That's got to be.
Is that Ohio?
Is that Ohio? Well, he was a Pirates 18th round pick back in '98. Maybe so.
Yeah.
How far west do you go in Pennsylvania before you say it's Ohio?
Harrisburg west. It's Ohio.
DeMarro 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. It's inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Listen, it started with David Freese getting hit by the very first pitch from Charlie Furbush.
DeMarro almost got hit with that pitch. That big play of this inning so far really was the wild pitch by Furbush. And it still allowed Robertson to square around for a bunt. Instead of advancing to second, he was able to advance into third, forcing the infield in by being in. Ibar be able to get that hit in the left field.
Chopper toward short. Miller to Cannell. The relay back to first in time. And ending double play. Easy for me to say. The Angels do tie it up, however, on the single by Eric Ibar. As we head to the 8th, it's a 1-1 game.
I think we have a 1-1 game between the Mariners and Angels. Ken French with you right outside the Big A. And don't forget, following this contest, it's all about Angels Live postgame presented by your Southern California Mazda dealers. Myself, Jose Mota, Tim Salmon, and Alex Curley will break this one down and talk about the pitcher's duel that was taking place this afternoon here at the Big A between Felix Hernandez and Hector Santiago. Hector Santiago, another gem performance. 7 innings, just giving up 3 hits and 1 run. Very impressive performance by Hector. And also we'll talk about the upcoming series with the New York Yankees as we close out this 9-game homestand. That and much more. Angels Live postgame following this contest this afternoon. Guys, send it inside to Victor and Goody, guys.
Frenchie, before we let you go, where did you and Santa Claus hang out on Friday night after the game?
Santa Claus has left the building. He will no longer be allowed on this set. Thanks for asking, guys. I appreciate it.
Might have been too warm today for him.
I guess so. Should have worn a kilt. Joe Smith here on in relief in the 8th. 34th game, 2-2, marking a 3.16 ERA, 8-9-1. The scheduled hitters for Seattle: Zunino, Bloomquist, and Jackson. And Mike Zunino skying the very first pitch on the left side of the infield. Johnny Giavitelli gives way now to Taylor Featherston. There's the first out.
You see some quick outs of late. Was it 4 pitches last inning for Hector to get through that inning? 7
innings, 3 hits, 6 punch outs, 2 walks for Santiago.
Great job by Hector.
Lowered his ERA down to 2.58. And just quick math looking at the schedule, looks like 2 more starts before the All-Star break.
Certainly has to be in that conversation. Sometimes you can't control wins and losses as far as a starter. You can control your ERA, your appearances, innings pitched. Opponent's batting average against, very good. He's done everything extremely well.
Willie Bloomquist looks at a strike. First baseman this afternoon has walked and popped out. But tomorrow the voting totals come out. The updated voting totals, I should say, not the final. We're getting close to the final vote total, isn't it?
Getting real close. Got to be real close.
Got to be next weekend, right? What they
It
do
should
on
be.
a Sunday or something?
I thought that's what it was.
I'll check the dates on that, but American League vote totals will be updated tomorrow. Bloomquist chopping this one. Third base side. Smith off the mound and got him at first. They might look at this one.
What a play, though.
Yeah.
It helps when you throw from that arm angle to begin with. So it's not anything different. Got off the mound quickly for Joe Smith. See, he always lands in good fielding position. Because of the way he throws the baseball, it's a very normal, natural throw from the first base. Nice play to get the second out of the inning for Joe Smith. How quickly he gets off the mound, good fielding position, and then a throw from that angle. Good stretch by Navarro. See that baseball in the glove before the foot touches the base.
Jackson looking at his strike. He's 1 for 3 today with a single in the 6th inning. 2 singles and a double allowed by Hector. Seattle took the lead in the 4th on a double by Cruz. The Angels, of course, tying it up on the pinch hit single by Eric Ibar. Everyone that came on in the 7th inning. Kubica, Robertson, and Perez stay in the game. Kubica at third, Robertson at left, and Perez behind the plate. Frisbee slider misses, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Halos in the 8th have Featherston, Giavotella, and Calhoun. One of those guys gets on by Trout, an opportunity. Chopper toward the middle. Featherston to his left, can't get it. Sneaks by him. It's a 2-out single for Austin Jackson. It'll give Gutierrez an opportunity to bat.
Left fielder, number 30, Franklin Gutierrez.
You got to believe right now that Jackson may indeed try to steal a base early.
Halos, by the way, are done with their bench. Everyone's been used. Seth Smith is going to come up and pinch hit here for Gutierrez with a righty on the mound. So Franklin finishes the afternoon going 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored. Smith, a .262 batting average, 6 home runs, 18 runs batted in, 1 for 4 as a pinch hitter.
Number 7, Seth Smith.
Step off and a throw over. Jackson back easily. There's an argument here saying that Smith balked over it on that throw over. He collapsed that left knee. See, at least that's what the Mariners are saying.
And there's no question about it. Joe has a very quick move over the first base.
Smith swinging first pitch, pops it up. Kubica backpedaling out. And Joe Smith wins the battle of the Smiths. Right to the bottom of the 8th, still tied at 1. Telling Cole Calhoun to face Joe Beimel, who induced the double play that ended the 7th. That was off the bat of Efren Navarro. Seth Smith stays in the game. He will patrol left field. Seattle has action in their bullpen. Right-hander up is Carson Smith. Taylor looks at a strike. He's 0 for 2 with 2 punch-outs, both against Felix Hernandez. The well-pitched game by both starters. Felix allowing no runs on 1 hit, 8 strikeouts, and Hector allowing 1 run on 3 hits, 6 strikeouts in his 7 innings.
Going off that 85-mile-an-hour fastball, trying to pull that baseball. Beimel stays away often, most of his pitches.
Breaking ball outside. Ball and 2 strikes. Seattle with a run on 4 hits. They've committed 1 error. And they've left 4 on. The Angels with 1 run, just 2 hits today. 4 men left on. 2 singles for the Angels. Navarro in the 3rd, and Ibar picked up the RBI with his in the 7th. Joe Beimel has pitched with the Pirates, the Dodgers, the Rockies. 2 seasons now with Seattle, 1 with Minnesota, Tampa Bay, and Washington. Limited action with Tampa Bay and Minnesota. Full count now.
The bat now working for Featherston, trying to get on base.
This one back up the middle. It's a base hit. A leadoff single for Featherston. And we'll bring up Giavotella in what you would assume may be a sacrifice situation.
Yeah, because of that, you wonder when it leaves Beimel in there to be able to keep the runner closer to first base, even though it's a lefty versus righty. He's anticipating a bunt, especially with a youngster at first base, and Alfredo Griffin reminding Featherston about the move that Beimel has to first base.
Cole on deck. So Beimel will have looks like 2 more batters here before Trout. Very good move. The way he hangs that leg up there.
Really close borderline on that pitching rubber. If you cross the pitching rubber, you have to go home.
With the foot.
With the foot.
Right.
But it's right, almost right on line. As a base runner, very difficult to read that.
Bunted foul. Some guys like to do the old slow move where the knee.
Yeah, because you can
knee
still cross the
crosses
knee,
the
but
rubber,
the
yeah,
foot,
the foot.
technically you're not crossing the pitching rubber.
One of your former teammates, Larry Gura, was very good at that.
Kenny Rogers.
Yeah.
And
Kenny had a really good move.
Andy Pettit.
Yeah.
Steve Carlton had a real good one himself. A lefty.
There's a bunt. Beimel will field it. Cano covering it first. And the sacrifice advances Featherston into scoring position.
Nice job by Johnny Giavotella, because you had Lindquist crashing there. They looked to try to make a play at second base because of Featherston not getting a real big lead or jump.
Go ahead run standing at second. Cole today 0 for 2. Walked his last time up. Calhoun 0 for 3 in his career against Beimel. Outfield very shallow, especially in left and center. That's Smith and Jackson, respectively. Breaking ball, line to center field, a base hit. Featherston being waved around. Here comes a throw from Austin Jackson. It is up the line. On the way to second is Calhoun, and the Angels lead it 2-1.
Well, we talked about Cole in the opening today with a home run yesterday. Big base hit against a tough lefty to give the Angels the go-ahead run. Here's our Arco top-tier play of the game against a tough lefty. This breaking ball was out over the plate and stayed with it, used the middle of the field, and Cole Calhoun with a clutch RBI single, and it advances on the throw to the plate. Nice job by Cole. Quiet through his swing and a clutch hit.
Here comes an intentional walk to Trout. In a 2-1 game. This will put runners at first and second with one out. And it looks like Carson Smith will be called upon to face Pujols. Albert, by the way, 5 for 13 in his career against Beimel.
So I'm pretty sure he's not going to be facing Albert here.
He gone after this intentional walk. And there's ball 4. For Trout, it's the 10th intentional walk that he has picked up. And here comes McClendon right on cue. So we'll have a pitching change here. With Albert due up, Carson Smith, the righty, getting ready. Will come in to face Albert with 2 men on and 1 out. Cole Calhoun, after the sacrifice by Johnny Giamatelli, delivering the RBI single, and has given the Angels a 2-1 lead. Looking for more here in the 8th. RBI, giving the Angels a 2-1 lead here in the 8th inning. As right-hander Carson Smith gets ready. He pitched in this series back on Friday through 10 total pitches. And he's on to finish off this 8th inning and give the Mariners an opportunity. They have Cano, Cruz, Seager, and Trumbo as the first 4 batters, should they get there to the 4th batter in the 9th inning, to face Houston Street, who's loosening in the Angels' pen. So the Halos looking for some insurance here. Albert so far today 0 for 3. Ground ball to second, a strikeout, the fly ball to left.
Smith with a very good fastball and sinking fastball, 92, 96, slider, changeup.
It's a breaking ball for a strike. Albert 0 for 4. Facing Carson Smith. Big rip. 95-mile-per-hour fastball, 0-2. There's Houston. Kyle Kibitz on deck.
Pretty quick hands by Zunino to be able to catch that hard slider in the dirt. He's a very good defensive catcher with very quick hands.
There's the 1-2. Breaking ball in the air to center field. Austin Jackson still moving back on it. He will track it down as he steps onto the warning track. Calhoun to third. Trout gets into second. Albert gave it a ride, but it stays in the yard. 2 outs now. And Kibitz coming up to face his former college teammate.
Very good base running by both Calhoun and Trout. Especially knowing that Jackson covers so much ground in the outfield, he's going to be able to track that one down. Calhoun tags up, and as soon as Trout sees that, he gets back to first base and tags up. To get the second, you take away a potential force out at second base in case something is hit to that left side of the infield.
Kyle's first plate appearance today. He was a pinch runner last inning. 214 average in just 11 games with the Angels. Has 1 RBI. First one outside. These two played together at Texas State. Went around, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Smith, an 8th round pick in 2011 by Seattle. Kibitz drafted that year by the Atlanta Braves in the 3rd round. Angels acquiring Kibitz in the offseason from Atlanta. For Nate Hyatt and Ricardo Sanchez. Sanchez, the arm that everyone liked.
And he has potential to be very solid. Power arm.
Yeah. Just 18 years of age from Venezuela. Breaking ball got him looking, and the Angels will leave 2 in scoring position. But Cole Calhoun with the RBI single, giving the Angels a lead.
Yes, it's a good swing by Cole, using the middle of the field to give the Halos the lead.
in the 8th inning. The Angels hand the ball off to Houston Street. Talking about all-stars as far as potential all-stars with Hector Santiago. Houston Street certainly has put his name into the mix, very deserving.
Yeah, when you think about how many saves he has, 21 of them. Opportunity to get number 22 today, and you're all about winning that game in the All-Star game to get home field advantage in the World Series. If you're Ned Yost managing that club, you want to have one of the best closers, and Houston Street certainly is one of the best.
31st game. Houston yesterday picked up his 21st save. A little bit of a hiccup there in the 9th inning, but was able to finish it off. In today's 9th, he'll be facing Cano, Cruz, and Seager with a 1-run lead through 17 pitches yesterday. Robinson Cano 0 for 2 with a ground down, a walk, and a strikeout. Cano 1 for 10 in his career against Houston. He's tardy on that fastball. 0-2.
Good velo on that fastball from Houston with good running action away from a left-handed batter.
Tried to get him to chase that changeup.
Still a good miss. It is something for the hitter to think about as he tried to track that one away. It was close enough. Now we come back with a changeup again. Will he go fastball away? That's what you want. Indecision in the mind of a hitter, especially a very good hitter in Robinson Cano.
Oh, bouncer foul toward the Mariners dugout.
He got him to swing at that changeup, almost the exact same spot, but because that one, the pitch before was close, it forces the hitter to protect and swing at something out of the strike zone.
One ball, 2 strikes on Robinson Cano with Nelson Cruz on deck. Foul back.
Whoa, what a play!
That was ridiculous. One-handed.
And that baseball was scolded up into the stands.
Yeah, he's getting high five from the people behind him.
Wow, what a play. Reach up. An outstanding play. Hat backward. Able to track that baseball well.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Joe Smith is the pitcher of record for the Angels. Pitch a scoreless 8th inning. Now the 2-2 on the way. And a swing and a miss. Down goes Cano, and there's the first out.
91-mile-an-hour fastball from Street. Couple in that sequence against Cano. Ran that fastball, started middle part of the plate, then runs off the outside corner for a swing and miss.
Nelson Cruz, a 1 for 3 game with a double that brought home a run in the 4th. Cruz 1 for 4 in his career against Houston. outside.
Nine pitches thrown by Street so far, 6 strikes.
Boy, McClendon will have to answer questions after the game as to Felix Hernandez lasting 6 innings, allowing 1 hit, whether or not it was a health issue, why he couldn't come back out. As Cruz skies went out to center. Playable for Trout. 2 down.
Well, you know Lloyd would not like to take Felix out of that game unless there's something going wrong with Hernandez.
It was the first batter that the reliever Charlie Furbush faced, David Freese. Hit by a pitch, then a wild pitch put him in a scoring position. A sac bunt by Dan Robertson and a single by Ibar tied the game up at 1. So 2 outs and the bases clear for Kyle Seager, who's 0 for 3. Last 2 times up, though, he's hit the ball hard. Nothing to show for it. One and 0. Seager 2 for 4 against Houston Street. And he rips one out to right field. Cole is back, and this one is tied at 2. A 2-out blast by Kyle Seager knocks this game up here in the 9th.
And Perez looked like he was setting up away, and that's what you want to do. You want to make sure if you make a mistake, it's off the outside corner. You utilize the bigger part of the field. Instead, ball in the inner half of the plate. Seager, his 12th home run. See him reaching back. Anytime you see a catcher reaching back, you know it's not going to be a good result.
As I said, the previous 2 at-bats, he had squared up the baseball. And both against Hector Santiago. So a 2-2 game here in the 9th with 2 outs. Trumbo with an 0-1 count. He's 0 for 3. Ground out a strikeout, a fly ball to left. This one's flared. Behind first, Navarro back into the outfield grass. And we will head to the bottom of the 9th. Kyle Seager's home run tied things up. Robertson, Perez, Navarro coming up. We're tied at 2. season, tying things up on Houston Street. So the Angels will play on here at the bottom of the ninth inning. They have Robertson, Perez, Navarro coming up, and they're going to face Fernando Rodney, which is an interesting choice considering Carson Smith, the right-hander, who has closed in Rodney's absence, threw the ball well in the eighth inning, got the last two outs, didn't throw that many pitches. We figured that he was going to come back out, but they're going to go with Fernando Rodney here, who pitched on Friday. And Rodney picked up the save, went one inning, struck out two, and also allowed a hit.
Good fastball. We've seen that before from Rodney. 94 to 98 range. Occasional slider now. Very, very good. Plus changeup. We talked about that earlier in the game. It's one of our cold hard facts of how well these two teams have played, how close the games have been. The last 12. 3 runs for fewer. You're tied up at 2 now in the bottom of the ninth inning. Another tight game for these two clubs. And Houston will obviously talk about that mistake on that fastball. He was trying to go away, the right pitch away, and then it ran out over the plate. Seager, who you mentioned, Victor, had some really good at-bats prior to that home run, squared that one up also.
Dan Robertson pinch hit in the 7th for Matt Joyce, and had a sacrifice bunt. It's no official at bat for him today. Seager guarding the line at third base. One change, actually 2 changes. Ackley comes into the ball game. He takes over in left field, moving Seth Smith to right. So Trumbo no longer in the game, and Ackley will bat in Trumbo's spot. Count even up at 1 ball, 1 strike. One and 2. Well, it took extra innings on Wednesday. The Angels at least pulled out the victory. Why you look at me like that? It was 13 innings.
They're going to win here in the bottom of the ninth. No
well,
extras.
I'm just saying that they did have a close game late. Ended up victorious on Wednesday afternoon. That is out toward left field. Dustin Ackley comes racing in, and he slides, makes the catch.
Ackley's playing pretty deep. Tracked that one very well. Slides in and makes the play on Robertson. Tracking that baseball away in the slide. Worst case scenario, if it doesn't catch, he's going to keep it in front of him. Well played by Ackley.
There's Carlos Perez with his first plate appearance today. Pinch ran for Ibar in the 7th. 248 average, a couple of home runs, 13 runs batted in. Two-0. Bouncer foul.
Just got that fastball in and out. Back to May 5th in his first major league game. Carlos Perez against Seattle. Walks off. First major league game, a walk-off home run for Carlos Perez.
Jobber left side. Seager has it. 2 outs. So they'll bring up Navarro. After the first baseman today with Pujols DHing. Has a 1-for-3 game with a single in the 3rd inning. His 1 plate appearance against Fernando Rodney, and that resulted in a walk. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's that changeup. Trevor Gott getting ready for the Angels, should this game continue.
Another all-speed pitch from Rodney against Navarro.
Two. Missed inside, full count. Featherston on deck. Halos today 2 for 6 with men in scoring position. Left 2 in scoring position in the 8th when Kubica struck out against Carson Smith for the 3rd out. Here's the 3-2. And that is pulled down the right field line. That is going to be trouble. It's a fair ball. Navarro on his way to second. Smith up with it. Gets it back into the infield on the winning run in scoring position. Navarro with his 4th double.
Featherston's had a walk-off hit already in this homestand. Out in front, pulled a little bit by Navarro, but kept his hands back long enough, hit that one right down the right field line for a double, his 4th of the season. Now representing the winning run at second base.
Well, I referenced Wednesday afternoon. It was Taylor Featherston, by the way, who had the game-winning hit. Here's Taylor Featherston. You're welcome.
I like how you're thinking. Why not do it twice in the home?
Right. Outfield playing shallow. Taylor went around. Actually found Tipton. So it's an 0-1 count. He's 1 for 3 today with a single and a couple of strikeouts. 0 for 1 against Rodney, and that was on Friday night. Got him on a strikeout and a changeup.
Big lead for Navarro at second. He's going to need it.
Gets jammed, little flare foul. 0-2. This is what happened on Wednesday against Chad Qualls.
Pitch off the outside part of the plate. Just went with the pitch over Chris Carter's head, scoring Eric Ibar for his first career walk-off hit, first hit at the Big A.
The swing that put Chad Qualls in the DL.
Yes, it did.
Stiff neck.
It's important to get a good secondary lead and good jump for Navarro.
Fastball missing in.
The reason why I say that the outfield is playing extremely shallow. Will take a good jump by Navarro to be able to score on a base hit by Featherston here.
Send him.
Oh, you got to.
Send him. Get that windmill cranked up should that ball find the outfield grass. One-two pitch. Down to the dirt, gets away, and now Navarro at third.
It's the first wild pitch of the season for Rodney.
Very similar to the pitch that got Featherston on the strikeout on Friday night. The changeup down low.
And usually as a catcher you anticipate a changeup from Rodney in the dirt. Had his glove turned the wrong way, Zunino, and off his body and away from him.
Bouncer to second. Cano comes in, has it. And we will head to extra innings, as they call it, pre-baseball. It's a 2-2 tie. Earned the trust of Mike Scioscia late in games, more specifically the 7th inning. This will be his 7th game with the Angels. No record, no ERA, 6 innings, 3 hits, 4 strikeouts, and no walks.
Very good power fastball with movement, 93 to 98 range. Very good curveball and change.
Taylor making his major league debut with the Angels, was acquired with Houston Street last year from the Padres. Now he'll face the bottom third. Miller, Zunino, and Bloomquist for Seattle. Kyle Seager tying it up against Houston Street with 2 outs. I think his 12th home run of the season. God last pitched on Wednesday against Houston through a total of 14 pitches. Brad Miller, the shortstop, has hit a fly ball to left, 1 to right, and he's grounded out to second. Two balls and no strikes.
That's a pretty good pitch. And a lot of the inside corner.
Miller chopping this one to short. Featherson has it. 1 down.
Nice play by Taylor, able to gather himself and a firm throw to first base.
Mike Zunino popped out on the very first pitch he saw from Joe Smith in his 8th inning at bat. 0 for 3 today. Slider missing away. In the bottom of the 10th, the Angels have the top of their order coming up with Giavatella, Calhoun, and Trout. Wilhelmsen getting ready. Has not pitched in this series.
Another power arm out of the bullpen for Seattle.
He's coming your way, Goopy.
Yeah.
That was a tracer.
I needed that fan to use the bare hand earlier over just to the left of us to come over and make that play.
1-2. Is that the count? Full count now. Seattle took a 1-0 lead in the fourth. The Angels tied it in the seventh. The Angels took a 2-1 lead in the eighth on Cole's single, picking up his 35th RBI before Seager tied it in the ninth.
One thing I noticed from God is he slows down his arm action on his breaking ball. That's one thing he's going to have to learn. He's got a very good fastball with amazing movement. It's important for him to feel more comfortable throwing his slider, certainly in certain counts. That way the hitters can't just sit on a fastball.
Fastball out to center. Trout puts it away for round number 2. So here comes Logan Morrison to pinch hit for Willie Bloomquist. Morrison will stay at the first. Stay in the game, I should say, at first base. .245 average for Logan. 9 home runs and 25 runs batted in. Big swing and a miss. First pinch hitting opportunity for him this year. Good off speed, 0-2.
It's a good changeup.
Oh, 2 outside. .97. Pretty free and easy with that .97.
With amazing movement.
Yeah.
It sinks. Sometimes it has lateral movement. Very reminiscent. Somebody wore that exact same uniform number coming out of the bullpen for Mike Scioscia and Scott Shields.
2-2.
And at times Scott would fight his slider too, but his fastball was so good he could almost throw it every single pitch. But you still want to be able to throw that off-speed pitch of some sort, either your slider or changeup.
This one out toward left center field, not very deep. Trout calling for it, will track it down, and Scott Shields 2.0 gets the job done.
Yes, he does.
A 1-2-3-10. We'll head to the bottom of the inning. Top of the order coming up for the Angels. We're tied at 2. Up for the Angels. Logan Morrison just pinch hit, stay in the game and play first base. New pitcher on for the Seattle Mariners, Tom Wilhelmsen, takes over on the mound for Fernando Rodney. Rodney had himself a fairly easy ninth inning, gave up the double to Navarro, but then got Featherston to ground down. Wilhelmsen pitching his 20th game, 1-1 record at a 4.43 ERA.
Wilhelmsen, another power fastball. They're both at 92, 97, slider, curve, changeup. Very good changeup he's been throwing. Also a very solid slider. Occasional cut fastball also.
Givatello for 3, had a sac bunt at his last plate appearance. That was in the 8th. That's back up the middle, knocked down by Wilhelmsen. No play. It's an infield base hit for Johnny G.
That would have been real interesting if it got by Wilhelmsen, because Cano was kind of in that same area. It hit well by Johnny right back up the middle. Cano is right there behind him. I think he has that play. Fortunately enough for Givatello and the Angels, Wilhelmsen got a little bit of the glove on it to slow it down, allowing Givatello to get a base hit. And the one thing is the pitcher, every time you look back to see where your middle infielders are playing, whether the second baseman's playing behind you or shortstop, or they're playing both in the hole, then you know exactly what coverage you have on your glove side or the backhand. You got to let some of them go by, even though it's more difficult to do so with a line drive like that was.
Cole showing bunt, takes a breaking ball low.
You wonder if indeed Cole bunts, gets the job done, and Givatello gets a second, will McClendon walk Mike Trout again?
I would imagine so. Take your chances with Pujols. You would already have the wing run at second. Cole has 3 sacrifices this year. So certainly capable of dropping one down. Long hold for Wilhelmsen.
You know what, when you look at the outfielders for Seattle, Ackley and Jackson, they're playing extremely deep in the outfield. So a base hit into the outfield in front of them should allow Givatello to go first to third as far as they are playing back.
Cole 1 for 3 game with the RBI single in the 8th. Not bunting, lines with a left, it's a hit and run. Givatello will end up at third. Cole will stop at first. The winning run 90 feet away with Trout coming to the plate.
A nice approach once again. That's back-to-back very good swings by Cole. See that? They're going to walk Trout here. Just went with the pitch, hit and run. I like what Mike Scioscia did there. That's a perfect pitch to do some damage going the other way. Givatello going, tracks that one into the outfield. Easy gets to third base and first and third.
Here's the intentional walk. It'll be the second one to Trout. You're not a fan of this for the guy that's on the mound, because then he's got to get locked back in to a dangerous hitter.
It is so hard to do this, and he almost threw that ball in the strike zone actually there. Because you're telling yourself to throw a pitch out of the strike zone. Your mechanics are slightly different. And then that very first pitch, he's trying to keep his mechanics normal. But if you're Pujols right now, that first pitch could be your best pitch to do some damage.
And there's ball 4.
Now he's got to retrain himself to throw a pitch over the plate now, after throwing 4 in a row off the plate. So difficult to do.
Albert.
Seems easy, Victor, but it's tough when you're on the mound. You know that.
Well, you slow your motion down because all you're doing is throwing 4 wide ones, but then all of a sudden to crank up the adrenaline once again. In this type of situation with nobody out, you know the winning run is right there 90 feet away, and a breaking ball. He's got a hard breaking ball. You don't want to overthrow a breaking ball here and cause a wild pitch.
Yeah, they're bringing in Ackley from left field, who's an infielder by trade, to have 5 in the infield. But get to the point where, get back to your point there, Victor, his elbow has dropped. That means your breaking ball could be in the dirt, or your fastball is elevated, and that's what you want if you're Pujols, an elevated fastball to hit in the air to get the job done and win the game.
So Ackley will get the infielder's glove. Albert, by the way, in his career 3 for 14 against Wilhelmsen with 1 home run and 2 doubles. The only guy that matters is Johnny Giavitello standing at third. He's the winning run.
You almost feel his first pitches he's going to throw to Albert would be a breaking ball. So at this point, because of his 4 previous throws out of the strike zone for an intentional walk, this pitch could be in the dirt. So if you're Johnny Giavitello, you got to be ready, but you also have to be ready for that quick throw down to third base by Zunino with Seager that close to the base with the 5 infielders.
So 3 infielders on the left side, 2 on the right. There's no right fielder. Austin Jackson playing shallow and a couple of steps to the alley in right center. First one, breaking ball chopped over to Miller. He fires home for 1. The relay back to first, double play. He got the breaking ball, like you said. He went to that curveball first pitch, and Albert went hacking. So 2 outs, runners at second and third now for Kyle Kubica.
And it's a breaking ball. A pretty good one down and away. And off the end of the bat, Poles tried to pull that one. We've seen him when he's been locked in here. He's hit that ball very well the other way, but he tried to pull that one and it goes right into that position where they can have a 6-2-3 double play.
Kubica 0 for 1. He struck out looking. His last time up. Looks at another breaking ball. So back-to-back breaking balls after those 4 wide ones to Trout.
Very comfortable throwing that. It's not a bad idea anyhow when you're on the mound. You have an open base anyhow with a lefty up, righty on deck.
Calhoun, the base runner at third. Trout at second. Oh, 1. 0-2. Tried to wait as much as possible on that slow curveball. 0-2 now. Oh, 2 in the dirt, blocked by Zunino, and a heck of a block by that.
That was a tight breaking ball in the dirt, dealing with the left-handed batter in the left-handed batter's box on that breaking ball. Anticipating this breaking ball in the dirt. Squared up his body well, kept the glove down the right way that time.
That's a fouls it back out of fastball. Talk about a shallow outfield.
Might be his one fastball he's going to see in this at bat for Kubica. He's on that fastball at 96. After dealing with some off speed, 3 of them.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Base is loaded with nobody out. Pujols, the 6-2-3 double play. Now Kubica trying to win it. For 2 outs. Two now. Fastball gets by Zunino. Here comes Calhoun. Light that baby up. The Angels walk off on a wild pitch.
The old-fashioned way. They earned it on a wild pitch in the dirt. Another close, tight game with Seattle, and a break to win the series against the Mariners. Pitch in the dirt. Gets away from Zunino, which is very difficult to do. The Angels pull this one off, 3-2. Wow, Trevor got his first major league victory here. Congratulations to Trevor.
Pitch a scoreless top of the 10th inning, and you would have liked for it to have been a little bit more with some more flair with Albert and the bases loaded, but this will work. Overthrown pitch.
It looks like an amazing victory right here. A fastball looked like in the dirt. Zunino got his body over there in time, but didn't get the glove down, and it got underneath the glove. The 5-hole for the goal and the victory.
Cole scored the winning run, also had a big RBI single earlier in the game. He's down to the field with Alex Curry.
Thank you, Cole. A big walk-off win to take this series. Take us through that moment, getting the win off of a wild pitch.
I just saw the ball go to the backstop and took off. That's big for this team. You know, get another series here at home in front of our home fans is big.
And it was a big series for you with the home run yesterday, a clutch RBI, and then getting the game winner right there. What's been your approach at the plate?
Just keep it simple. Try to help the team win.
And then how great is it to see the guys come off the bench in the 7th inning and make such a big difference in this game?
It's huge. It's going to take all 25 of us to do something special here. So guys are always in the game, ready to go.
Well, congratulations on a great win. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Alex.
A big series win for the Halos here. Now winning both series here at home with walk-off wins. But stick around because Kent French, Jose Mota, and Tim Salmon are next with Angels Live right here on Fox Sports West.